This tutorial will explain how to check if your computer can run a game by comparing your PC specs and the game's minimum and recommended hardware requirements. How do I check to see if my computer can run a game? Most games have both minimum and recommended hardware requirements. To play the game at its lowest settings, you need a PC that matches or exceeds the minimum specs. PC as good as or better than. The recommended specs will deliver higher frame rates, support for higher resolutions, and a better looking and playing gaming experience. It isn't always easy to tell whether your PC does match or exceeds the minimum specifications, as different generations of CPU and GPU aren't always easily directly comparable. It becomes even more complicated when you throw laptop CPU and GPU into the mix, which aren't easily equal to their desktop counterparts. A good rule of thumb is that you can probably play the game if your CPU and GPU are newer than the minimum specs. It is usually designated by having a higher number than that of the component recommended. For example, a GTX 1080 is more recent than a GTX 770, and an Intel Core i3 10400 is better than an i5 4440. To find out if your PC meets those demands, you'll need to know the requirements set by the developer and your own PC specifications. Find the game's minimum and recommended specifications by looking at its digital storage page, or if you've purchased a physical copy, check the back of the box. The manual may have more information too. The minimum and recommended system requirements for Elden Ring on Steam. While the minimum requirements will work, always shoot for recommended specs for good gameplay. To find out your PC specifications, press Ctrl+Shift+Escape to open Task Manager. Then select the Performance tab. Using the left-hand menu, select CPU, memory, and GPU, and note down what they have noted in the top right corner. Free storage space on your primary hard drive is essential too. Check Disk 0 or C drive to see if there's likely room for games to install. Windows Task Manager highlights the installed CPU. The installed CPU is highlighted in the Windows Task Manager. Compare your PC specifications with the minimum and recommended hardware requirements for the game you want to play. If your PC matches or exceeds them, you should have no problem playing. If it doesn't, you might run into some trouble and should consider upgrading or replacing your PC. So that's it. That's the end of the video. If you like it, hit the like button, do me a favor, and subscribe to my channel for more tutorials. I hope you are doing well, guys. See you soon at the following tutorials. Bye.